always record to, and hopefully the recording and the WebEx give fully cooperation with us, inshallah. All right. So as I mentioned just now, I try my best to make it kita what we call kita focus. If you look at this chapters, quite a number of the subtopics inside the chapter one itself. In the syllabus not really accurately because it is a first the original one. Okay, where we already changed in my previous my colleagues here dia we try to modify it on apa what we call bersesuaian apa complying to our demand for student as well. Okay, because the syllabus was developed by other lecturers from other school. We importing we import from education lecturers because during that time Dr. Makno and I are still further studying yet. However, okay, last week I already introduced to Zainal and Hazima already about what is the research, okay? And I also asked them to do this activity. I'm not sure they already done it or yet. But yes, I'm still give a chance. Maybe Alhamdulillah we have new members here. So the paper so I have given maybe Cik Zainal still reading on that paper that I'm done with my previous student, Mr. Kumarison, last year. Okay, you can read that paper that I'm share in the online learning as well. Okay, I also explain a little bit on research approach last week, if I'm mistaken. Right, Hazima? Betul tak? I ada say as a teacher approach, what is the quantitative, what is the qualitative, and what else? I just say very what we call very precisely what is a quantitative. So in operational research mainly driven by quantitative research. Okay. My department as well, Department of Decision Science, actually is operational research as well. All right. So they're more on structured, right? Objectivity, all right, more on experiment, do this apa, testing the data, right? So that's about quantitative research. Qualitative that we are now in the qualitative data analysis, they are more about we want to understand the behavior. Okay, I will not go details sentence by sentence in the lecture notes here. So you don't worry, when you read, wow, they are so detailed. So I try my best that I will more on mengupas, okay? Like mengupas what we I can say in English term. I will try to discussing maybe with you all maybe the maybe the required the most important digesting the points in the slides that you want to know more, all right, as well as if you feel okay madam doctor, I think this one I can understand independently. Okay. Okay, so qualitative, kalau you see the bold one, that's the most the digest the most important thing lah. Meaning, okay, inductively interpretation, the flexibility, that's the qualitative. Then some researchers they are like they are some depends on the field of study. Okay, sometimes they are normally they will combining. Okay, some academicians or some scholars they don't like to say qualitative or quantitative research per se. They directly they direct the approach, the direct techniques that they are using, okay, in rather than their highlight name or qualitative, because qualitative and quantitative itself is still big names. Okay, still what we call macam mathematics lah, the words of mathematics still the tree, right? Hari ni kalau cakap dengan kelas macam ni dengan tangan-tangan semua cukup. So it is I think I stop here, right? In the at the table 1.3 or what in the page where I stopped last week. I think here. I ada introduce sikit kan filosofi. Is it Zainal? Is it?
Yeah,
Ish.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I do have question here about qualitative.
Okay, okay. Yeah, 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 Zainal. Silakan.
Yeah,
Where you want to, which part you want to ask?
because okay, why is it like most of the researcher like when they say like it's simple like this. When I said that I want to do a research about qualitative, they
Yeah.
say it's like, oh, there's no qualitative. It's always like
Hmm.
quantitative. And then
I
yeah,
see.
they say that. And then that's why I asked you last week. Do you
Mm-hmm.
have a paper that purely qualitative? Because I want to see and I want to learn. And
Yeah.
then when I said about qualitative, because my work and then my focus to the community is about qualitative. And
Behavior,
then
right? Behavior.
it's
In other
about
words.
behavior because
Understand.
even now I'm doing some research about the scammer and then about the
Mm,
mule accounts and everything. So the
mm,
thing is like
mashallah.
you cannot quantify that. You cannot quantify that. You know, they are
I see.
something about their behavior in the social media, their behavior on their how they socialize, and then
I see.
how the scammer how the
Mm-hmm.
scammer can identify the one that they can trick into giving their bank account as a meal account. So you know that the scammer doesn't they didn't like create their bank account. They use someone else's bank account, mostly like Malaysian, that they don't just like pick randomly. They choose.
They
So
have the criteria, right? Mm-hmm.
yeah, they have a criteria. So
Mm-hmm.
this is like a qualitative method. No, it's not even quantitative. So why does he say that whenever I want to do qualitative, they said you have to quantify your qualitative. And then
All
I
right,
saw
understand.
that in our study there's a two software that you are using. Can I request for Atlas TI because I do not know what is Atlas TI? So if you can teach me what is Atlas TI. All right, thank you so much, Dato'.
Okay, okay, thank you. Really good is in question. You can see here. I think I want to show you the types that the types of what you say actually is here, right? Social tag. I think what you say scammers. I think have it somewhere here. The types of research lah. I mean, oh no, I don't see. Maybe on cyberbully. All right. Okay, this is just the ideas, right? So what you say actually one type of social technology as well. And the question that you asked me, you think I can give this where okay, this one. Okay, why maybe I don't know who are the person that you say that they claim that what you want to do is have to do on quantitative research. Sometimes maybe as it so called that person is from quantitative research, quantitative fields. So he or she, I don't know, and maybe they don't know ideas at all about qualitative ones, because sometimes some of the people also ini pun can be in qualitative people with normally bias with what he or she know. So maybe like myself, mungkin maybe I have some benefit, not benefits, what we call, maybe have some panggil apa nak kata speciality pun I rasa so high claim. When I doing research on qualitative, and I also have in my environment on operational research, so I can evaluate, okay, which research more comply. In order to say this one is suitable, is not suitable, it depends on what we want to do. Okay, regarding on what you say just now, I think what you want to do about scammer is more on on the judgment perception. So I think like you say, like you can read here, why it is so important to learn on qualitative research, because human, we tu maknanya refer to human, we always do judgment, kan? In daily life we always judge people, like kita baca satu statement, we judge it. Okay, we commenting on that statement. Oh, ni tak betul ni. We judge it. We judge that. And then about like you say that person kata, oh, this one cannot apa can not suitable for qualitative. Maybe they tak, he or she don't know what is qualitative all about. Because qualitative research, if you see here, the word is why is so important, why we need to learn it. Because indirectly, if you are not learn this topic, you not learn this subject as well, actually you are doing, we are always do that. Okay, judgment. We are apa? And then some now I'm actually I'm also, I don't say I'm not say I'm mental survivor yet. I'm still on treatment. Um, when I did treatment, I'm no no I meet the session. Normally the doctor will listen. Okay, the mental patient clients, where they saying all what they say. This doctor or this counselor will not judge it. It can't judge. Is it Hazima? Because when the psychiatrist or the counselor judge, that patient will feel frustrated because they want to share the feelings. Then the psychiatrist, okay, I've talked about judgment just now. So when do judge, the patient or the client will feel frustrated. Sorry, please. So judgment, talk to judgment, when we macam kata kalau in a law per se kan, I suka mencabang, I will talk a lot of things. Okay, so yes, where we do have like you kata topic about scammers. Okay, the different person will have different judgment. So when we talk about quantifying, they need to quantify. Maybe when we need quantifying to on measurement to measure how the seriousness. Okay, like what we pandemic just now, we always look at the number, right? Number of cases. Now we keep increasing, but indirectly we also have some apa we call the judgment as well. Why the judgment for reason why the cases is keep arising day by day. Okay, so besides even the medical, beside the quantifying, okay, the number of cases, what else? All the numbers, okay, the number of death, the number of positive COVID, the number of apa saringan, okay, for those swab tests and so on, the number of vaccination nowadays. Besides that, all the qualitative data, all the and not non quantifying information also support it, like the number of deaths. They also have the the attribute so why they are the reason of death, the support data that. Okay, the question on Zainal, tadi Zainal asked about the scammers kan. So yes, I'm for me, as a personally, I can say what you want, your idea, what we call the topic, the issue on the scammers. Maybe they're more meaningful if you are doing on qualitative. You can interview the person yang involving. Okay, like some kalau you if you observing some fields, some bidang-bidang, the like so psychology for example, like a law, like education, like what else, some field of study or field of bidang-bidang ni kan, they are more complying with the qualitative. Why? Because they are dealing with the human. Okay, compared to computer science, compared to because they are more dealing with the data. Okay, the data macam security data and so on. So so it depends on, even in law, law fields. Yes, kita nampak secara as a logically they are more comply with the qualitative because there are a lot of cases kan. But there's still need some quantifying as well lah. Okay, so about the scammers, cuma and then you can see but scammers ni maybe on financial fraud and so on, right? So maybe per se kalau you see in the field of financial banking, they're still comply with the quantitative because there are a lot of number, right? There are a lot of figures, okay, but they are still like economy, okay. Cuma depends on the details, the very what we call the expert with lah, the subject matter on that issue. Okay, so qualitative ni dia more on support of the issue bandedly. So that's why some people claim you cannot you cannot do this research as qualitative because maybe they can't see the importance. They don't know that qualitative is about judgment. It's about perceptions. It's about to understand the behavior. Like you say, you see here. And some people claim that qualitative is easy research. Oh, it's very, very, that is, you can see that second point. Most people find qualitative are easier to understand. It's not really easy to understand, especially when you want to understand the behavior, like counselor. It's really hard to diagnose the, like what I can share my experience. Last year I start with consult with a counselor in pusat counseling, one of the counselor. We keep I'm keep make session with her, a number of sessions juga. Then she decide, okay, doctor, you have to go psychiatrist. I mean, the apa, the session that I mean to understand what is my problem all about. Okay, okay, so that's why I kata it's not really easy to understand. Okay, relatable, yes, they have relatable to means that macam kalau statistik dia biar kita ada, we do have correlation, right? Impactful. And then kalau you tengok point yang third tu, readily available tu maknanya nowadays lah, we talk about nowadays in social media, there are a lot of readily available in in the newspaper, in the magazine, in the mass media lah, social media. So in natural setting ni, when you do interview observation, so actually nowadays, observation through social media also can be considered as observation. Let's say you part of group, right? Page, you was being a qualitative research page, for example, doctorate support research group. So there, the data is there. Cuma how you want to dig out, how you want to extract the data and so on. Beside, we can have an interview session, we can have observation session as our data collection. Kalau in data collection per se, I can say for me lah, mungkin Cik Zainal mungkin kata, madam boleh lah, madam dah terror. No, if not because I'm dah terror whatever. The data readily tu memang, yes, maybe some people kata sama lah macam quantitative data pun readily available, especially secondary data. But if I'm comparing in survey and content analysis or data yang like in social media, in in any kind of, in a books, okay, in the annual reports, I think qualitative data tu is more easier, okay, in compared to when we have to do data collection through survey. Ini yang I'm talking based on my students' experience. Survey tu sometimes depends on the survey type as well. Sometimes senang dapat, easy to get the number of respondents. Sometimes challenging as well. Depends on the issue that the types of surveys as well lah. Kalau soalan banyak, kadang-kadang respondent don't want to fill out, then they get the low respondents. Sometimes also read a lot of papers, especially Malaysian context. It's really challenging. Okay, I hope about the Atlasti and Vivo, Cik Zainal. So far memang I always teach you on Vivo. But if you want Atlasti, I have my friend. Maybe I can import her to our class. She is the certified trainer from School of Law, Dr. Ani. And memang dia pun my team members for my research project. and she's really active in have a no the gift training. Maybe you can, maybe you know her, Ani Munira. And my other research members is Dr. Siti is a certified trainer on and Vivo. She's from ni lah yang who wrote this book lah. Okay, Dr. Siti ni dia and Vivo trainer, and ask her how to be certified trainer. Dia kata very very dia pun macam just lucky to certified because previously she handled a lot of trainings. Then the apa namanya Envivo punya provider tu approve her lah. Not approve, certified her based on the number of training. Dia tak ada if I'm not mistaken, and Vivo is Statworks. Okay, Statworks now they are changed to new management, new owner lah. From her information. So at Lesti, yes, Dotani is a certified. To become a certified trainer, they have to some have some process lah. Okay, it's not easy as what we masuk training satu hari dah dapat. Okay, so I will consider. Nanti I akan discuss dengan Dr. Ani. Okay, Cik Zainal. So hopefully we can have both side, Vivo and um, Atlasti. Okay, so they have pro and cons lah between that. The main ultimate goals for Atlasti and Vivo, yes, they are for qualitative data, but also the features is, of course lah, macam SPSS dengan what else, SARS kan, like SPSS, SARS, they have some similarities. They also have some differences because they comes from different different owner lah. Okay? Macam Facebook dengan Instagram. Ya ke? Ke Instagram dah owned by Facebook. I also sometimes I lost the information. Okay, like TikTok and Twitter. Okay, so some sort like that. I hope I give some idea for Cik Zaina. Is it Cik Zaina? Hopefully. I hope aku say we can follow. Maybe dia punya kata apa, you know what we call say that the gelombang, the waves tu dia lambat sikit lah. Okay, it's a take time to you receive our, receive the what I'm saying just now. Okay, so you can see quite a number of various the subtopics in this chapter as well. However, don't worry, I think today kita go more further. Tengok dia dah keluar dah. Sekejap. Dia suruh tutup background ni. Tapi kalau my background is so messy that my background is so like a professor punya bilik. Cik perasan sekejap. I try to adjusting my way I'm sit. I just say this side is what we call, I don't know what we call this one. Sliding, not sliding, sliding door. Okay, so today, is it are you okay, Cik Zainal, what I'm respond what you asking now? Tapi tak apa, Hazimah also can.
Yeah.
Okay, satu lagi, that's why I always looking for all the webinar on the mental health because yes, sebenarnya dulu sajalah nak share. I just want to share. Previously after my SPF, I supposedly further my study on psychology, but due some reason, I don't know why I'm twist to IT. So I'm still have the passion to learn more on psychology or mental health. Now with the pandemic, kalau without I'm struggle with the mental state now, I think as a normal people also should know a lot of more on mental health because of, yes, there are so many people nowadays suffering with the mental health. Not only Malaysia. Okay, cuma when we about I'm very surprising when one of the panel on the webinar that this webinar in held last Tuesday that I'm sharing with Hazima and Tizana, and Tizana was be so lucky they can join that webinar in like Iraq and Palestine. They are very resilient, right? One of panel said about resilience when they have trauma, because on that webinar is talking about trauma, post trauma disorder. And when they have trauma like what we know in the Palestine now, they are became more strong and strong because they are memang like Iraq as well. You also have Iraq war for your previous years, long time ago, right? You say so. You all the people in Iraq, the Palestine, they became more resilient, more strong after they met all these traumatic incidents on. Okay, compared to Malaysia, because we are already very comfort very comfort situation where we facing the pandemic. Lots of people facing a lot of depression, anxiety, man. But in talking about resilience, I'm not sure Malaysia can be strong as in Palestine, Iraq people as well, because pandemic here is very, we never expect to be happen. Okay, like in Palestine, they already every year almost Israel almost attack them and become, the kids in you can we I always saw in the Telegram social media, they are very strong, they are very, the kalimah Allah, the bacaan, the apa the Quran, the surah in their mouth. They are always, they allow Allahu Akbar subhanallah, so on. It's very, they're very strong on that time. They're very, kalau compared to Malaysian kids, it's very, 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 have a gap there. Maybe in Iraq. So I think, inshallah. So Malaysian have,
Inshallah.
yeah, no, Malaysian have to learn a lot of
We
from
we know,
Palestine.
we know.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
when we have pandemic here, so no, so many, the mental state is really, what we call Hazimah. What just Malaysia. I can boleh kata affected. Okay, a lot of people yeah, affected a lot sebenarnya. And then um I can see from TikTok, and also I ni sebenarnya social media addicted. Bukan drug addict lah. I also sure because my nature doing research, I'm using social media. Okay. Sejalan nak share ni, you boleh tengok my paper semua. Mainly I'm using social media, and then I try my best to make it use benefitly, wisely. But yes, sometimes I also have some challenge lah. Okay, addicted as well. So I try to make try to uh, get it as a beneficial. I try my best to make it beneficial to me as a clinician. Yes, actually, social media is good sometimes, but if you're wrongly used, misuse, and itu yang some people judge, it's not really. So, the harmful back to us. Itu yang okay, so kita akan go for philosophy today. Few slide here is a philosophy. Okay, I think I've stopped here from mistaken last week. Right. Why you need to be aware. Okay. So whatever it is, apa I try to stop by 11. Kalau I terlajak, please remind me. Alright. So tadi I try to justify from the example that Cik Zaina asked me about scammers. Okay, in Malaysia we have a lot of scammers. You can see. Then so many people have been opportunists. Bukan terrorists, not terrorists. Opportunists. They're so very clever. Then they have tried to get some beneficial. Have some when the government announce something, they're fastly get the opportunity to do some scammers, right, Cik Zaina? Dia, and then Malay netizen we panic and so on. So that's a fake, some, especially yeah, sometimes that's why sometimes we are so sad when the bright people, when the intelligent people using their intelligence in wrong way. That's white collars criminal. White collar criminals is rising in everywhere, including Malaysia. So back to philosophy. Maybe you all let's say why we need to know about philosophy. Ini I dah explain, but I will repeat again. The what we call the big why, okay, the reason, okay, because actually we need to know the philosophy, the stand, okay, the belief in the back of our research background, research approach, research technique, because yes, actually we always do this, right? Research design. So when we know the research philosophy is more meaningful, more means for us, okay, to recognizing, okay, and kalau untuk PhD pun you senang untuk easy to defend your decision. Why you choose this? Why you choose this? Why you choose qualitative rather than qualitative, for example? Why you choose interviews as theoretical lecture rather than observation, for example? Okay, this one. Okay, in order what I'm saying just now is how to want to identify, how want to resign this design. Okay, based on, and for qualitative sometimes the experience of the researcher also very significant, very crucial as well. If you don't have some macam you want to apply the job, normally the company will ask, they will mention about 3 to 5 years working experience or some sort like that, right? So sometimes the fresh graduate always inquiry or always arguing why they need the job experience, why, how about the fresh graduate, so how they can get a job. Meanwhile they're not aware that when they are doing a lot of assignments also, that's as can consider as job experience that I always share to my students as well. Okay, so for qualitative research, don't worry. Could say don't worry, Zainal. If you feel, oh, we don't have any qualitative research experience, don't worry. As any kind of research experience or your life experience, so can help you to handle the research as well, research process and so on. Okay, that's why we need, because the philosophy is, you can see here, beside between the knowledge, the reality and the observation itself. Okay, so that dia tak kata, they don't not mention as why you need to be know deeply. They just say to be aware. All right, to be aware. So you awareness. You has been exposed. What is a research philosophy? So this you can have a few. They have four stands here. Okay, they have post, as I mentioned last week. For quantitative, they're more complying with the post-positivism. Okay, beside rather than the other three here is more on complying to qualitative. But it depends on sometimes. So this also maybe in a philosophical area, in the scholars from philosophical research, they may be on this kind of doing research on this kind of philosophy. It depends on whatever lah. So that's like yang more on compliance too closely with the philosophy, like what else, what the languages, right, the religions, okay, yang bidang-bidang, the fields of study yang closely related with the philosophical. In UUM, we do have School of Languages, Civilizations, and Philosophy. If I'm mistaken, school SLCP. Yeah. If I'm mistaken, lah, the abbreviation is SLCP. There comes derived from School of Education. If I'm mistaken, yes. All right. So education people, I think they have some awareness. They have some exposure on the philosophy, okay, philosophy of teaching, okay, and so on. Okay, we also as a lecturer here, we have to do some no what we call nama tu, I not remember the terms, but we need the some philosophy teaching. What your stand about in teaching, okay, as an academician. Apa dia panggil tu ya, tak ingat. Tak apa, tak kisah. Baikkan. So post positivism is the kebenaran, the truth, okay, the how we want to do research on the truthness, okay. So this dia punya the one of apa example of the philosophic philosopher. Okay, so if you see that on quantitative, they are more comply with generalizable, right? Objectivity. You see that quantitative. Okay, so as I did mention, however, even the quantitative research, they also not cannot run away with the behavior. Okay, right. So you can see here the purpose of research is to uncover the general laws of human behavior. Okay, what even though like natural science, like let's say, some researchers like as a scientific science background, like veterinary, what else, who are doing on zoologists, they are not dealing with the human, right? They are dealing with the plant, the animals, but the behavior is still there. Okay, for zoologists, they are keep doing research on behavior of the like the animals. The sometimes kalau in the cosmetic and so on, they are always take the the rat as their experiment as the experiment, okay, before they testing to the human behavior is all. So behavior research is still there in positivism. Okay, you can see here was the point of philosophy. Uh, though okay, they have two assumptions. Okay. Or previously I already explained, right? Ontological is epistemological. Okay, I got seen in here. I missed this one, but yes, we need to understand here first. Okay, back to here. Ontology is what's out there, epistemology. So 5W1H here. Okay, so what out ontologically, epistemology is a what and how. So if you cover it, this four here, five here is actually you are doing research unofficially. Okay, you always keep it thinking out about yourself, your some issues in philosophically, all right. So the ontological, what's there now, let's say pandemic, what's yes, what's pandemic, COVID-19 is about in Malaysia, about vaccination issue, what's and how can we know about it through the social media, through television, through the mass media and so on. Methodology, how can we go about recurring that? Yeah, again, through the reading all the information through social media, through Facebook. Okay, methods, which precise content analysis. Okay, content analysis, or you can read on the WhatsApp group, Telegram group. Okay, some Telegram information they have some specifically like KKM. They have Telegram link, Telegram link lah, right? And so on. So methods is various sources. Okay, so which data? So all that I'm saying just now is on second data, or you want to interview specific person. Okay, so what's now they what in baru ni ada insiden, right, yang LRT tu, and just to want to share to say LRT is one of the public transport in Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur have collision, pelanggaran. Okay, met two cabin met, and then I yeah, cabin. What the most suitable word that can I can is describe the two gerabak tu, Zaidal?
Kiss,
Kiss.
kiss.
That's the problem. CEO the chairperson said kiss each together each other. It's not really suitable terms. I think it's a really make the netizen angry actually. It's really like disaster. Okay, say it's quite, I can say the disasters. I read the one of the doctor from emergencies department HKL, Dr. Al Zamani, if I'm mistaken, and I follow his Facebook because, and he was being invited by TV3 yesterday because his post was sharing by KKM as well. He is describing coping the situation. That's one of the, you can say the, you can just say secondary data that maybe some people want to do research on disaster on in health, okay, in healthcare. It's really when I read that post is really disaster, okay, really disaster, and then traumatic to the people in that cab, in that larti, in the cabin, in that train lah, can say train lah. LRT is one of public transport like commuter, you know, you say it's like a fast train, like bullet train, but not really bullet train. Have you been in Malaysia, Kusi? No. You can Google LRT. Why so? Must be managed by Prasarana. So the Cik Zainal say about the KISS train too actually comes from the chairperson who do do the conference on the next day. Okay, okay. So the doctor that shares he's in that his was be I'm kata were experiencing with that disaster. I mean, all the passengers has been sent to the emergency in HKL. So he's a part of the doctor was managing uh, uh, on that. So wow, it's a really disaster. So very, it's not, cannot be make a joke for that disaster. So some have a traumatic, and then some have very cedera parah, okay, very bad injury and traumatic as well. So they need some counselors, secretaries to managing on this quite number. I think 40 to 50 passengers as well, because involving with two trains, you know. Maybe you can Google the collision of the LRT in Malaysia. It's really another disaster. So within managing the pandemic, you know, hospital managing the COVID patients, that we have to managing that situations. So very, there's not if you so on that kind of research, on that kind of situation, issues is quantitative approach is not enough. I think they do have to interview the the involved people on that disaster situation. Disaster is not only on the natural disaster, that issue, that situation also we can call as a disaster as well in the medical facilities. Okay, how they facilitate that situation. Okay, so that's how I have to explain on the ontology, epistemology, methodology, the methods. And in medical fields, in medical study, there are a lot of qualitative. In I'm also part of, I'm member of Qualitative Research Association in Malaysia. The leaders, who are lead that association is mainly from medical doctors. Okay, medical doctors were as lecturers in hospital, university as well. Because yes, there are a lot of behavior. They're doing research on behavior as well. So they cannot avoid that. All right, because they are give a service to the people as well. Even veterinary also, they are also behavior to the animals, right? Okay, so where we are now. So okay, you can read by your own this one. You can read your own, so that if you have any question, you just can interject through the WhatsApp group, inshallah. So we also, they have some features here. So as I did mention just now, I do not plan to go through one by one. All this, the point here is if not we cannot cover all this. Okay, inshallah we try to, I try to make it you I treat you all as a adult. Postgrad is normally a more independent way lah. Okay, like compared to undergraduate, like I treat like secondary school as well. Okay, there's the features for post-positivism, independence, as I did mention, value freedom. So your the causality, the hypothesis and deduction, operationalization, how to say out, reductionism, generalization, as well as cross-sectional analysis. For qualitative, they are more complying on social constructivists. Okay, selalu normally we always say about human activists, right? Volunteers. So this one we today we met new terms, social constructivists, or normally we can consider as interpretivism, okay, or interpretism. Yes. So the idea is from that the scholars who 40 years ago, okay, 30 years ago. So they always try to honor this one, this philosophy. Why they come out this philosophy? Because they say the reality sometimes is not adjective, it's not the main thing, but how we social interact with the people, how we understand the people, and it also, betul tak Hazimah? Right? Sometimes different people have different perception, different people have different judgment. As I'm say in the early class just now, the various like they have can be differentiate with the background of our lifestyle. In Malaysia, for example, in Malaysia we have various of races. We do have Malay, we do have Indians, we do have Chinese, we do have a lot of races, especially Sarawak and Sabah, Bumi Putra, So there, we have various, what we call experience, life experience, which are varied and multiple, and it leads to the researchers to observe, to see the complexity, okay, the comprehensive, the complex of the people, the human itself, okay, and so on. Then we can narrowing to details on the when we do a research lah. Alright, so there's a features, so quite number lah. You can see more details compared to this the positivism just now. Okay, so okay, maybe I want to highlight here, recognize their own background in shaping the interpretation. Like in the part in Iraq, maybe have different the nature, the norms as in Malaysian. Nowadays in Malaysia, after pandemic COVID, we have a lot of new norms. It's where it's very challenge, very challenge to Malaysian to follow the new norms. What is the new norms that we have to change? We cannot salah. We cannot shake hand each other. We cannot oops, my left already fell down. We cannot hugging each other. We cannot, what else? And then when we back from somewhere, we have to take a bath. Okay, we have to clean ourselves to make sure the virus not follow us. The virus, we are not transfer to other people in our home and so on. So it's really challenge actually. And the frontliners in Malaysia, we have to, I think in Iraq also same, to wear the PPE suit is very hard, very, I mean, I cannot describe it because I'm not have that experience. Maybe I have to call my ex student or matron share her experience. I think now he is very busy in as a frontliners. I have my ex student who are working as in hospital as staff nurse or the leader on nurse lah. Okay, they call as a matron. So I believe sorry, she's she's very struggling in give the service so apa to people, to especially COVID patient from sticker. I'm do some assumption lah. Hopefully he's debris trying to service, to give service to. I also have some my friends lah, my neighbor who working as a nurse. All right, they are all very, I can say they are fighter. Yeah, warrior, unsung heroes. Okay. So there's a features. Okay, there's The comparison between positivism and social constructivism. It's hard to say. Constructivism. Okay. So kalau in if you see here the quantitative, actually they want to showcasing the between quantitative and qualitative here. Okay. So you can see the difference between positivism. Yes, must be dependent. But doesn't mean that social constructivism is not depending, but they're part of what being observed. Okay, the observer. Kita tengok, we see the point here, the what we want to catch on, the human interest. Yeah, sometimes positivism we are not relevant. Let's say pure maths, that is they are more on proven, no proven the formula, right? Formula, and then they are not dealing with the human at all, right? Compared to social, because qualitative, they're more, yes, the human behavior itself is the main drivers, okay? Exponential causality, because, yes, in the positive side, they're mainly on causality. For social constructivism, mainly on understanding the situation, mainly on human behavior lah, right? Okay, on this one, okay, we in a positivism we do have hypothesis. Apa research hypothesis we do have no the all the formula, all the cacing all the formula lah, right? All the rules and so on. Okay, but for social constructivism, normally we are the data to derive as to analysis. Okay, okay, concepts need to be defined, right? For social, some we incorporating the judgment of the maybe the respondent. Okay, it could be maybe from the, let's say you are from, you just gain from secondary data, you based on the data itself. Okay, so in analysis simplest terms, but for qualitative they sometimes can be complex. Yes, the generalization in quantitative normally we do have statistical analysis, but tak semestinya. It's not must be lah. Mainly we require statistical or do some programming, we do some proven, right, in the mathematics. Maybe I'm not asking yet. The quiz say you of operational research in which part? Because operational research is a lot of analysis, right? A lot of no, they can be specified more. Maybe your game theory, or maybe your heuristic, maybe you're from simulation, maybe you're from, yeah. I know I'm in the quantitative also there are various in the quantitative approach as well. Okay. In qualitative they're more on theoretical. They must based on theoretical abstraction. And the sampling, ini selalu I debate with my friends, my teammates previously. Kalau if in a sampling in quantitative, normally the more number, larger numbers, more meaningful, right? They means that they feel satisfaction is there. But for qualitatives, it doesn't matter. It's a small number should be okay, but the richfulness of the data. Okay, let's say you have 3 to 5 first interviewees for interview, and then later on we will go further on that. Okay. However, the how you want to kupas dia, okay, you want to go deeply on that issue is the most important. Okay, so that's another pragmatic. Okay, you can see the others is a pragmatic as a philosophical, they're more on worldview, like a issue on the global issue like Palestine. Are you okay, Kizzy? You already feel tired? I'm aware of that. So, when the subuh time there? May I know? Masa subuh dah? Kenapa tak dengar suara you? I'm kidding. If you subuh time or is there, you can let me know. Not yet. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Your subuh time there what time? Now what time?
Now,
Now. Your
5,
su huh?
5 a.m.
5. Now it's a 5 a.m. 5.
5 a.m. Yes.
Yeah, so nearly to subuh time now. If you want to go for
Yes.
subuh, you can let me know. We can have a break for a while for allowing you to spray subh pray.
The time between Malaysia and
Yeah.
Iraq is 5 hour.
5 hours. So oh yeah. So now we in Malaysia is already 10, 12 a.m. So you now in Iraq 5, 12 a.m. Right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay. Like I always watching in one the channel in TV Al Hijrah. They always show the and Mecca. I think Iraq and Mecca is not different too much, right? It's quite same. It's almost same.
It's same time.
Same time. I think five
Yes.
five the gap between Malaysia and Mecca also 5 hours if I'm mistaken. So Iraq
Yes.
is just in the same contingent, right? Same contingent, so same time zone, lah, right? All right. So
Yes.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. So if you want to, I think kita try to what we say. Okay, so kita try to break earlier. Kenapa I mute? Sorry. My websites ni I don't know. This time they're very very strict. This people. Okay. All right. So this one is your as another exercise that you can do your own individually. So maybe next week I will ask between of you all. Okay. So what you understand between philosophy, research strategy, and research method. So you are connecting how you will correlate that between the philosophy, the strategy. Okay, this is to find out. So this is your what we call that. I give some gift for today. All right. So this is another one, advocacy. This one you can see apa advocating. Also in the politics, there are a lot of advocating agenda. Okay. You can see there all the like the image there here on the like what we in Palestine now. They are so in other countries more all they're showing the support to the Palestine use through like this this one lah. Okay, you can see in what we call say that himpunan jalanan street I don't I not remember the right terms for this describing all these activities. Right, so this is another philosophy is that how the participation of the people, the society in showing the support, okay, showing the stand, like so what we see just now, what happened in Palestine or the globally. It's not only about the Islam reason, it's about the human rights, right? So it's surprisingly is get this very very strong support with all around the world. But yeah, surely in Israel side also they have some support with the the world leaders as there's quite challenge to us as a human rights and so on. Okay, so this is the key features for advocacy. You can see the criticacy, the important issue stands I'm just say just now. Okay, ni yang tadi I respond to the as I know, right? So that's why that's I said just now. In order if you know you are not learn the qualitative research, uh, yes, we do have judgment. That's why let's say like back to for those that have mental issues, sometimes they are really scared to share to the people to friends who are not knowing about psychological, not exposed with the all the time the okay, the do not right person lah, so not so called as not right. So they're afraid because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be charged. Let's say I always saw the in the talk, when the people, let's say CA is have depression and she share to the other, to friend. Kau ni kena semayang. You have to pray a lot. You have to recite all some surah. You have to. It's look like that. For those people kan Azima, sometimes people yang don't have the empathy. To have the empathy, dia akan, that ustaz, one of the ustaz yang in the webinar mentor tu kan, Cik Zainal, uh, yes, it's alright, but how you showing the empathy to the people who are suffer with some of mental illness, sometimes symptom, maybe just get the symptom like traumatic symptom, dia judge you already. Okay, you ni kena solat banyak, you have to pray a lot, you like you judge that people that she she or he do a lot of sins, right? So that's why the people will keep in silence. Okay, they get, okay, you don't think too much, don't overthinking. Okay, don't do this, don't do this. You don't know how to struggle that person to overcome, to coping that. Don't want to overthink, like what we facing just now in Malaysia. We don't want to overthink, like I'm lah. Okay, like I'm say just I'm trying to share what I'm facing daily. Yeah, I don't want to be overthink. Sometimes I share with my situation to my boss. Okay, Intan, don't overthink. How can I not to be overthink if the information is overload? For example, okay. So what I can do? I always read the website and I delete it. I delete it. That's the counselor have advised to me. And if possible, sometimes my counselor kata, please avoid from social media. Oh, that is impossible to me because I'm a social media editor. edit, edit. So I can't live without. You know, I always, because I already see the other's perception, the other angle, the positive side on the social part. Sometimes the negative vibe sometimes is it comes high, it comes, sometimes that I try to minimize the person will share the not so good things in social media, perhaps sometimes also not strong enough to receive the, sometimes people say sometimes the receiver tu dia macam look like not so really good person. They saw the post, not really, because the judgment, or the perceiveness, of, because I have the different background, the person who in my friends, they have different, like especially in internationally, we are various. No, that sometimes in order to receive the difference is really challenging. The different thoughts, okay, the raikan, the different thoughts of is the difference of the ideas and so on is really challenge. Sometimes we have egoism as well, right? That's another issue lah. Okay. So mungkin maybe you could say, what is going on? If you not understand, you just interject me, okay? So yes, for tadi I was interject with some webinar mental health because it just happened 2 days ago under counseling center UUM. So I sharing with them, Zaina and Hazima. Maybe Hazima working. Hazima, are you working? I forgot to ask you. Are you working? Are you as a counselor
No,
officially? Are you working or you are full time student?
full-time student.
Oh, so maybe you have some work to do on that, on during that webinar, is
Yes,
it?
yes.
I think is actually, uh, s- before pandemic, pusat counseling, normally counseling center always organize that event, but you know, and was be attention for the counselors to obtain the CPD, right? CPD, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
CPD,
The
CPD.
point, the point to
The point.
certify you being a certified counselor, right? But
To
they
renew the
also
license.
license. They are also open to public people, especially students and so. So they got a very a high number of participants. And what the methods that Pusat Kongsi have done it, they have created one WhatsApp group, and then one to handle that event they are using Facebook closed group. And then after that event have been settled, they have another they have the participant in the WhatsApp group share the information the other event will be held on in future. If I'm mistaken, from Oopsie. From your oh, you are Husas, right? Oopsie have will organize philosophical first aid next month. Quite 100 something lah, the fees. Okay, so for those accounts, for those involving with that, they are looking forward lah. They will the officiate by our DJ lah, okay, Tan Sri Dr. Isham. So that one is a quite impactful event lah. Mungkin I tak sempat because 2 days event. Maybe I will share with you. Maybe you want to interested with that. Okay, maybe what is because no, the psychologically social work is also very closely related with the qualitative beside the quantitative. They also have a part quantitative, especially when do survey, right, Azima? Last December I presenting on qualitative research conference. The keynote, one of the keynote is from psychological professor from UKM. Yes, I can relate that why they invited that professor, even though they're not qualitative per se, but dia punya nature of their research for psychologically psychology. I think that professor from one of the associate psycho, I don't remember the name that association, but his background is psychology background, but her research mainly from qualitative and support with some quantitative, some especially survey and so on. So yes, in psychology area, there are a lot of there cannot avoid lah in order with the human behavior, social interaction. Okay, I have one person ni, this scholars, I can say scholars because he's from UK as well, criminology expert lah, I can say he is a criminologist expert. He did his PhD on interviewing hundred of prisoners who have experienced killing person. Kill, I mean they have been prison because of kill somebody lah. This is really brave guy lah to interview the person who have experience kill people, banduan lah, in Malay term we call a banduan in the from penjara prison, not remember that prison. 100 is quite high number. 100 interview normally 3 to 5 3 to 5 person or in order focus group. Okay, nanti kita akan go further lah. I just teaser lah this one. Okay, so that scholar is very strong person lah. To go through all that procedures to have the interview session with the prisoners and so on, and he's a graduate on time, very surprisingly. His name is Dr. Rahim Munna, Professor, Associate Professor Rahim Munna Kamaluddin. He's a mix Chinese and Indian. Muka macam his face like a Malay. In Malaysia, just to say lah, just to share, I could say, if for those people, they have mixed marriage between Indian and Chinese, their daughters or the son will have look like Malay face normally. It's very uniqueness of Malaysia, the various of races that will mix. Like Iraq, maybe they have from Iran, from the Bahrain, maybe I don't know, even though they look like more on Arabic, but the no, no, the genetic, the attitude, the characters will be mixed, and there's a to the other story lah about the genetic studies and so on. But yes, normally mixed marriage is a normal in Malaysia. Okay, all right. So sometimes for this from Palestine, will migrate to Malaysia, so married with Malaysians, so their kids and cats, very beautiful. So that, just joking. Yes, this the true lah, the reality is that. Okay. Itulah. So this one is one of philosophical person from anthropology, Professor James. He said that okay, this is just to point out that what we want to know from ourselves. Okay, okay, let him. He said his claim that he want to understand the world from the other perception, okay, from the other people view. Okay, I want to know what you want to know. I want to understand your experience. It is the philosophy of as a qualitative researcher lah. I mean, anthropology also very compliant with this qualitative approach. Alright, so to feel things as you feel them, to explain things as you explain them, it's empathy things lah. Okay, will it come my teacher help me to understand? So you talk to me lah. Okay, you come and teacher help me understand. So what Zainal said asking me in the early class study just now. So can look like Zainal want to plead me? Can you understand what I feel now? I've tried to put my shoes to his shoes. Perhaps even though maybe it's not same as what he feels as I feel like Kusei feels and I feel, but I try my best. Like what I'm facing a few days ago, my student has been swab test, and I'm also feel nervous on behalf of them. And Alhamdulillah, one of them already get the result and negative. I'm always pray for their health condition where they are in the campus in Sintok now. So they are very lonely. They are very feel nervous, and another one is still waiting his result. There's a few groups. They have few students. New UM offer to back to campus due some reason lah. Okay, maybe their hometowns have limitation on internet access and so on, so they allowed to back. But they have some struggles in not exposed with the COVID when they are mobilizing from their hometown to Sinto and so on. So I've tried to feel them. I tried to feel pity and feel to support them as best as I can, even though it's not same. So that's always counselors, doctor, in secretaries try to offer with. But sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy because in to understand as well have the level. All right, the level of experiencing will um driven to that, right? Okay, so this characteristic. Okay. I will stop here sampai I think I want to go for pray to say I think I want to stop some till disadvantages. You have more time to pray. You want to pray now? You see? Subuh dah masuk ke belum?
I prayed. I
You not
prayed.
yet. You okay?
Yeah. Fajar prayer is at 3:30 a.m.
Oh, you are done. Oh, you sick Fajar. So that's why I said Suba, you
Eh,
still look a blur. Thank you, Zainab, to help me make
it's
it in order
yeah,
to understand because
yeah.
sometimes the terminology. So I understand some when I'm UK, I always have this situation. The terminology is so some look like barrier. Thank you, Zainab, to facilitate me as well. So you are done your Fajr prayer. Huh? You could say Alhamdulillah.
It's summer. It's summer, so
Yeah,
it's like
like UK, yeah, summer, and yeah, I just remembered. All right. Just to share, my Alhamdulillah, I got opportunity to further my PhD in Manchester long time ago, long time ago, in 2008. Okay, I'm back to Malaysia in 2011. I feel long time ago, but sometimes I rasa macam baru je yesterday I back. Sometimes if I feel I remember the sweet moments in that, and then I feel just but actually it's a long time ago lah. So I met a lot of met a met in various of the races, various people in the Israel in Iraq, include Iraq students. Okay, thank you, Azana. Okay, we can continue a little bit before we start at 5:11. Okay, this is the criteria. So maybe this criteria I already explained indirectly previously in the philosophy tadi in the part of social constructivism in the introduction previously in in order to look like my hands. I want to support that what I'm showing to say just now, with to differentiate between qualitative quantitative. All right, so it is enhancing on that the character of the qualitative. So sometimes I also try to menjiwai indirectly menjiwai what I want to say. I'm trying to be uh, representative, representing that I'm a qualitative person as well. Okay, like during my PhD time, I always try to interpret this lyric songs. I'm love it. Okay, depends lah. Depends the lyric song yang relatable to my journey lah. Okay. I also wrote. Actually, now I'm not now. Actually, I have been sent one my experience 5 years ago, but I not win. But I want to publish that novel. My my experience during in. So now I sharing chapter by chapter in my post in Facebook. Some of my people, wow, keep writing, doc, keep writing. But actually, I already done it 5 years ago. I sent to one of sayembara. Sayembara means that the competition lah. Okay, the writing competition. I think organized by was quite established organization DPP Dewan Bahasa Pustaka, but I'm not winning. But it's a good try for me because I think that that's can give me some motivation, a passion to me back. Beside academic writing, because academic writing sometimes we feel we just the impactful is just for certain groups only. Okay, I think if you feel we became as a life experience, we share our life experience to to society as well. Okay, that's why how I try to make use myself to make use the benefit to. All right, so the correct. Oh, oh yeah, so you already done, huh, Raj? Alhamdulillah. So what I'm trying to correlate with my lifestyle, my life, my attitude, my character, my self character in qualitative research characters. Yes, in qualitative we always studying the meaning of people. Okay, say like Zaina say about scammers, it's about the life of people. Okay, the views, the perspective of the people. That's why sometimes using the survey is still not enough. We just you just make a skill, then you you ask the people to rating out. Sometimes the respondents who don't know which the best rating that that they can give, right? That's the limitation of the quality. Because I'm not condemning the quantitative. No, no, don't misinterpret what I want to say just now. There's some limitation. Okay, so that's why some research have cannot not suitable enough in quantitative. So they have to extending with some interview observation because want to see the meaningful, the perspective, not perspective, perspectives. Okay, the inside, the behind, the sisi hitam, the black station. What is the behind the scene, okay, like or like the commentary have been always showcasing to us in like National Geographic channel and so on, right? So yes, as well as multiple sources of evidence. Okay, besides only from the survey. Okay, you also can have a read a lot of book like some languages study. Maybe they always do research on novel. Okay, and the related document and so on, like on accounting, some management accounting. They're doing annual reports to see the evidence. Okay, you see here multiple sources of evidence. They have do some interview. They do have some extracting the information from the annual reports and so on. Okay, that's the characteristic. So, like what I'm saying just now, I always to interpret the lyric songs. Yes, interpreting the lyrics also part of qualitative research. Okay, for those are from music's area, music's field of study. Okay, so how they want to drama. Okay, dramas. We do have a scheme part in the UM, School of Creative Industry. So the yes, creative industry so complying a lot with the qualitative, right? So there's an advantages. So the punya benefit dia, the benefit is in-depth studies. You will have a very details, you will understand clearly with that issues, but they do have some restriction as well. We cannot avoid. Sometimes, in order to assess the person you want to interview, so we do have a lot of procedures. Okay, especially we dealing with the VIP. Okay, I have my friend who are have dealing with they doing some on waste management. They just alhamdulillah they dah pass with colorful very excellently in UIA, University International, one of my friend in accounting school lah. Dia, she did all she did always sharing with through his Facebook posting about experiencing is her experience in assessing the people, especially when he during his not his data collection interviewing. Okay, the person, especially a VIP, means very important person like who have a position in the ministry and so on, who related with his her PhD works. Okay, not everything I said. And one more thing that I always want to emphasize here, sometimes not everything can be quantified. That's the one thing. Okay, sometimes, especially the judgment, the perception, like about vaccination issue. Different people have different thoughts. Okay, they have vaccination issue is a hot issue in Malaysia nowadays. We say. Okay, I'm not know. How about in the Iraq? How are you have been vaccinated already? Zainal have been vaccinated last week, if I'm mistaken. For first dose, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm still like me, I'm still waiting from my Sejahtera when I get it. Okay. How about you, Kisi? How about the government in Iraq managing the vaccination to society to 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 all of Iraqians like us Malaysian. Are you having this vaccinated or not? Is it right? In Malaysia, teacher as a frontliner, so some group of teacher are vaccinated for those high risk group. How about Iraq?
Uh, about what?
About vaccination, vaccine regarding on COVID-19, we have in Malaysia we have vaccination program under mostly stand for what else? Science Technology Ministry. So how about can you share your in Iraq how they handle the vaccination program for the people in Iraq, the citizen in Iraq?
Uh, yes, yes.
Okay.
Now in Iraq, every people taking the antibiotic
Yeah.
and we have a program from uh, uh, U, UN.
Mm-hmm. So are you already
uh,
okay, okay, continue, sorry.
using program from you and about
Mm-hmm.
all all people in Iraq. Anyone have COVID-19?
Mm-hmm. So they are give prioritize for those already got COVID-19, is it? Oh, I just
Now, now,
no no.
now in Iraq, we have Pfizer and another that this from USA, American.
I see. So you are waiting,
Yes,
still waiting. All right. Hopefully.
using Pfizer.
Oh, from
Yes,
US. I see. So you all still waiting for that. Inshallah. Hopefully
inshallah.
everything will be easily. Inshallah. Inshallah. So we always pray for the best of the best for not only our country, not only Malaysia or Iraq only, so globally for everything comes in normal back, inshallah. Okay. Still few still advantages here. I thought it's only 3 point there. I forgot. So you can see here for few advantages in stock use of interest. This is a quoting by Yin. Yin is a case study experts. Okay, Yin. So ni kalau if you do one case study, yes, you have to case studies they have we go for that in another one chapter on case study. So generally yes they have no when you have some we already choose one thing specifically you have so there's all the limitation we can overcome it, all right, so all the we can coping all the limitation where we do have some you choose one case, okay. That's the point from here lah. So offers greater latitude, all right, so all the limitation in generalization we can overcome, you can coping with this approach. However, in any advantages we do have disadvantages, and what we everything pros we also have some cons. So in qualitative, yes, you can see the validity reliability is always be debating, okay, because the very sensitivity, okay, because dealing with qualitative research, we are a lot of sensitivity. Some can be questioned out, okay, because we dealing with the perception, judgment, judgment. Let's say in qualitative research, when you are do research, depending on the researcher itself, how they're writing the conclusion and supports from the previous the literature review as well. Yes. Data overload, okay, as just mentioned just now, nowadays in with the social media we have received a lot of data, overload the data, sometimes we confusing, especially in for those the young generation, they're more believe on the social media rather than their family members as well. Can be very time consuming to finish, especially when you are dealing with the interview. Sometimes that's why I'm share with my friends experience. They have to dealing interview session. Let's say some field study they have pre, post, okay, interventioning. Especially for those in social work. Okay, I have one my friend student patient. I think he also have finished his study. He pernah consult with me on en vivo. They try to ask me something about en vivo. They have session pre, okay. They the way the did research is not dealing with so many people, but they're repeating, okay. Let's say the punya research group tu, I mean the respondent is what we call vulnerable group, okay. For those young women who are been, how to say, when they are just pregnant, then after delivery, okay, was stay in the rumah kebajikan welfare house. So you know that they're time consuming. He have to wait for when they have been wait apa macam buat vaksin ni lah. Look like doing vaccine have time consuming as well, right? So they have experimenting, like as show work. They have to know during before the delivery and then after delivery of how this group handle their so called their newborn kids and so on, newborn babies and so on. So sometimes it can time consuming. Or in other way, like you are dealing with the VIP respond interviewees, okay? You have to waiting dia punya time yang available to have that session. One thing, maybe you dealing with a lot of procedural to assess that especially in education, like to assess the school, okay, the principal, the leaders in school or the ministry or district pejabat pendidikan district education officer in Malaysia we call as pejabat pendidikan daerah or my lamp is already gone. I have a lamp here, a mirror lamp here, but it's one going down. Let's so on lah. I have to buy the new one. My lamp is not. It's very gloomy. Okay, that's a event. That's all thing. The criticism ni the other the criticism by the other non-qualitative researcher perhaps. Okay, there's an it's you can see that they're lacking of generalizability. There's a challenge lah. Or the criticism here is can we see as a challenge in doing qualitative. Okay. Like paper that I've shared with you. Now actually paper that I'm wrote with Mr. Kumarison too very purely qualitative. I will share the other paper yang my friends wrote, Dr. Siti, also purely qualitative. He also
Right.
shows, yeah, I will share that. They did on that paper. That paper is showing how they are using the en vivo. Okay, some paper they are not showing. They are not showing what the software that they're using in qualitative papers. They like what Kumar also they're not using optimizingly lah. They have not enough time. Okay, so I will share another paper from Dr. Siti. He's on facilities management area. All right. Surprisingly, okay. Okay. So now where? Okay, I've stopped sharing on that. So I think we are nearly 11. I try to bear my promise, so you can may see on my my room there. So try to share chewa. It's just
Doctor, I read Kumar punya
yeah,
paper. It's
okay.
recommendation, and then
Yes. Yes.
the it's based on mainly what Kumar thinks, right? Like recommendation considering
Between me
government
and
and
her, between me and him. The
yeah, yeah,
combination,
yeah.
yeah. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Right.
the way I look at it, just the way I look at it, right?
Yes,
So
yes, all right.
I read it, and then they interview about two subjects, and then two so
Okay.
the questions, and then the struggle and everything.
Right.
So what he said was the real situation. That's what people
Right.
know about the online learning and everything. So the
Right.
readiness, even the parents don't want to pay the normal fees because now the student doesn't go there, and I can
The
see.
real one, yes. Betul.
Yeah, so the thing is like when I look at the paper, I think about how parents do not like they did not like recognize online learning, because for
Yes,
them
that's
it's
true.
like they have to teach their student, they have to teach their kids, because when they send their kids to the tuition center, they put all the responsibility to the tuition center, which is really wrong, really wrong.
Yes, okay,
Like
yes,
they
yeah,
do
I
not
agree,
yeah,
this is what I
they do
put
not
it.
feel that now the burden is on their shoulders, and then they say that, oh, so it's not the fees that I'm willing to pay because now I have to teach my student my kids. I
Right,
think that it's an eye opener to the education ministry, why we should educate the parents that the responsibility to teach your kids is you, not the teachers.
I
The
agree with
teacher
you.
we guide,
Mhm.
and then furthermore, like the
Yes.
policy about teaching, the education minister, they have a blanket policy to all. You go to the orang asli, right? To the Aborigines.
Mhm.
They
Right.
When you teach them, you want them to get out from their kampung, get out from this forest, and then teach them how to survive in the city. But in real life, they don't want that. They just want to be better farmers, better hunters, and then
Mhm.
they can go out and represent their people, which is
Yes.
better than what we have. So the education policy is, for me, we should open our eyes. Like, not everybody thinks like us. So like the one that you showed just now, I want to see how you see. I want to know what you know. I want to see from your perspective. That's
Right.
what that we should do, right? Then while reading Kuma, it open another window for me. It says that
Mhm.
there is something wrong about our education policy. We should,
we, we,
yeah,
we, we
there's
try
something
we
wrong
try
about,
to open up the ministry as well. So
yeah. So
I try, yes, maybe
yeah.
it
So
happen as well in other country, like in developing country like Iraq. I don't know, I guess so. So
uh,
it happens in developing country like Malaysia, compared to developed country like no, like UK. They are more open. They are more open. What I'm experiencing in during last 10 years ago when my daughters have been schooled there. They're more open. I mean, they're not exam oriented at all like Japan. That's why when our former minister Dr. Mazi is also did PhD in UK, he tried to do that, but unfortunately he was being retrenched on that. And now we have another minister is from, he also have some background on Australia education for his daughter, if I'm not mistaken. But it's to open eyes our Malaysians are really challenged. So that's why I feel that this paper is really close to the, it's not only to me, to the parents, because I'm also parents. I also have a kids. I'm also have struggled to become my kids teacher. And some teachers said, yes, being teacher to other to own daughter, to own sons really challenged rather to be being a teacher to other kids, because that's maybe some tuition center have been closed because they cannot survive because the parents don't want to be online method. But this tuition center that we are cooperate with, they are still they're still fight for this. They also became as try to because they also have other services, other product, and soft skills. They see the importance that not only because of exam. Okay, even though UPSR in Malaysia to say in the second primary school, uh, as assessment already been abolished, have been no more anymore. But how the primary school want to survive when they are going for secondary school? They still have assessment. Kalau if before this we do have the assessment in the class. Now we, how they do on online assessment, okay, is really another issues that they have to overcome, they have to cope with, for teacher especially. Okay, so that's you can see the finding is about readiness. Okay, it's on readiness of tertiary center is walaupun dapat, oh okay, but it's there. If the tertiary center also not ready for that, I mean, they have to facilitate the teachers first of all in the facilities, and on the online, so we know the other issue, the teachers have to learn to become a YouTuber, for example, became as a TikToker, for example, or what else, the content creator, for example. Okay, not only not only TikTokers or YouTubers, they have various platform nowadays. Okay, then they also consider with accessibility for the students as well. Like who say, is it I pronounce your name sir right? Who say punya apa permintaan di apa has to record, because after this you can repeat and repeat again, as I'm already done for my undergraduate students as well. Cuma my leki I cannot edit. I just share what I'm record. That's all. I don't have time to edit. It became a very very impactful videos of my mirror lab is a movie. And then the tutor readiness. Okay. So when I did when Kumar did this one, I feel reflect to myself as a academician, although this study only limited to tutor. Tutor is a tuition teacher, okay? Tuition teacher is this paper. So I think Alhamdulillah, Zainal said that open her eyes, Alhamdulillah. So give some impact to readers, to audience for this paper. So I'm give some motivation to them to improve this paper to publish in journal. So this one is I add on the theory from theory of acceptance model. Mungkin on that time Kumar don't cannot not have enough time to put this one, so I try to make it more impactful. So I try to showcasing what his this findings through this framework lah. Okay, through this theoretical concept. And yes, this paper have it's moving again. The mirror is moving. All right. So yes, so you have to read this paper to uh respond the first activity that I've. So what Zainal shares is just he already did his this activity. So yes, if say his must, you can have this your response after this. Right? Yeah, walaupun even though the reference still still limited, but now if you google out my undergraduate students also did some topics on this. Yes, a lot of study have been done regarding on this issue, and mainly what I'm observed from my undergraduate, they are more mainly from qualitative approach, because you want to dig more what's going on, what's the behind the scene, okay, what's the experience that have facing either from the teacher, from the students, as well from the provider. Like this case, the provider is a tuition center. Maybe my student are will doing on schools situation, the management of school itself, how the principal, how the headmister handle the teachers, okay. Like now PDPR, we call PDPR for school, pembelajar online learning, how the teacher create the video for student, or they do live DC like this, but limitation accessibility is moving on yet. It's like iklan. All right, so the appendix I have interview the transcribing as well. Okay, you can read on this one inshallah, and I will share the city ni dia more on the other issue lah, the other topics, but purely qualitative paper. So okay, previously I shared that one for commercial, so this one the latest, that recent paper that as part of the punya research project lah last year. Okay. Maybe you say no idea who's Kumarisa. Kumarisa is your friends as well.
Yeah, Hussein no
You
Kumar.
say no?
Hussein no Kumar.
Okay. Hazimal, I don't know. All there, yes. So he's working in test bits and Berhad in Selangor. So lama tak contact dia. Hopefully he's doing well in managing the study and his career. Okay, so I
Yeah,
think that
he sent his regards to you. He sent his regards to you. He
yeah.
said hi.
Okay. Thank you. You keep in touch with him, right? And
Yeah.
because he's working in Friday, so my class with him last year is on Saturday. I cannot doing class on Friday because of his limitation. Okay, I think that's all for today as I promised. So I leave for the sizes that I announced just now tadi, yang ada jadual tu, have the table, the qualitative and the philosophy. Maybe I try to share it back. Okay, so maybe you have very limited time, so after this you can have using this another balance time to have a look on this, then we can discuss okay, this one. All right, this connecting, how you can connecting based on what you understand this session today. Okay, what you understand. Okay, you can fill in that apa blank here, not necessary to fill up every box here. What you understand, if you feel you understand on quantitative per se, if you feel you want to try yourself, okay, all the box left here, blank here, you can do so. Okay, that's time I give you 1.5 hours. And then besides that, you can recovering back. Okay, for course I cover, I always using the stand of inclusiveness. Okay, why is inclusiveness? To make sure all my students have the enough time to have to overcome or coping all this the the things that I have to do. So the syllabus also is there. Okay, you can have a look on that. I had a few things materials that I want to share again. Okay, I will do that. Remind me, Hazimah, too. Ada few things that I want to share through your emails. Okay, because it's quite big files. Kalau I masukkan dalam online boleh, tapi nanti dia kadang-kadang dia tak allow because of big file. Oh, that one video last year I want to share one file with Toma, but it's not allowed because of quite long video, so I have to go for Google Drive and share with your emails. And sometimes we can make a various, cannot depend too much on online learning as well. Sometimes, all right, dependency is there. Dependency, bukan dependency, independent to make it various seats of the platform. Okay, maybe sometime I have to stand by with Zoom meeting. Sometimes I always say to my student, and for undergraduate student who we always have, you must have option A, option B, tapi sometimes I also miss out that. Okay, I think I leave behind that. Semua dah scan tadi ya. So I'm really sorry with what happened in the early class tadi. Kelas pula. In the early class just now. There's I have to make some what we call lesson. Always have option B, C, and D. Okay, with the technology itulah we have to accept it. Okay, acceptance. Kalau tadi if you see that paper yang dengan Mr. Kupasu, I'm trying to comply with the theory of acceptance model. So that's we have to accept what all the hiccups on during online class just now. So I hope you really kata I'm so sorry with that. I think that's all for today. Ada soalan tak? Selalu kalau student undergrad, I always have to please, nanti dah habis at the end, I will end up my session last lah. The question will come in. like in the physical class, I will wait. Oh, the student will go out. Then the yang we want to ask, they will waiting, and just me and that student only. Especially for introvert student. But if doesn't tak semua lah. It's not necessarily all the students. Some introvert just they will share in the chats. Okay. Maybe you ask in here now. Any question you can say, Azima? Zainal is okay. They always he always ask. Kisah, you clear all this, any information that you expect that you I'm share but I'm not sure, you want to ask me, you can
I I want to, Doctor, today is my first class. I want to review chapter one and reading and review your video, your recording.
all right.
I will, yes,
Yes. All right.
I will.
Uh,
Thank you, Doctor.
all right. Good. Okay, thank you for your plan. So I think I give time for you to do that. After I will end, the video will be available after I end up this session. Then I try to share as soon as possible. Inshallah. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope that you all
I love to see Kusei backdrop. You know, there's no sun. Suddenly there's sun. So
like in Malaysia now. Even though you only baru pukul 6 just 6
so Kusei
7
need to
p.m.
sleep
right?
right now. Kusei need to
Same
sleep.
same like us. Same like in Malaysia now. We are already at 11, but now mendung. It's quite gloomy outside there. It's not really hot as expected. Same because it's just passing gerhana bulan last 2 days ago, right? In gerhana, what we call in English, lupa. Forgot.
Eclipse.
Eclipse,
Eclipse.
yeah, the moon eclipse just 2 days ago. So after that day, or the weather is quite gloomy in Malaysia. Sometimes some places have been rain and been banjir kilat, flood, fast flood. So pray for the best into our country, inshallah. So I think that's all for today. So inshallah, we met back next week. Okay, so keep make a noise in our WhatsApp group. I'm okay. Kalau I don't know idea Zainal or Hazima. We can make noise. Okay. Don't worry. I think it's okay. Kita all of us is adult enough. Hazima, how old are you? I forgot to ask your age. I think I know Zainal or Hazima. What? You just 25. Wow, so the youngest one. But I think he's adult now, he's measuring now. Can you say 40s or 30s before we end up? You same age with Zainal? What age you are?
Kusei is young. He's 40.
Oh, like me, so sebaya. I'm 42 this year, inshallah. Tak apa, it's okay. We trade business professionally, inshallah. But as a human, sometimes we also do mistakes. So
But Kusei said I am old man.
no, Zana is the more experienced man. Experienced man in our group is we cannot say he became 5 series soon. I don't think so.
Just
Became
I think
uh,
I think Zaniel is old one.
say I told you.
he's the most experiencing man in our group because he claimed that he already old, but I not said he is old. He's most reaching 5 series in other 5 to 5 4 to 5 years old. 5 to 5 yeah lah. You are
No,
45,
two
right?
years,
Yeah.
2 years, 2 years old. 2 years to 50.
Yeah, okay. But it's okay, doesn't matter. Oh, age is just a number. In
Half a
our
century. I am half a century.
age is just a number. Like when people celebrate his or her birthday, age is just a number. The most experienced man. Okay, I can say that Zaina has a lot of experience that we can dig out his experience soon, time by time, inshallah. I think Kusei also have the experience. Hazima, even though she's a young woman lady here, she also have a experience his own way. All right, sure, inshallah. I'll try my best to give chance to you all in soon and after this in the future to share the related experience in our class, inshallah. Okay, so thanks to all
Thank
of
you.
you. Okay, it's nice to meet all of you. Selamat Hari Raya. Aidilfitri walaupun hari ni dah the 15 Shawwal, middle of Shawwal already. We going
Eid
towards
Mubarak, bro. Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak. Oh, yeah, the kuih already gone. The cookies already gone. Okay, thank you and thankful. Nice to meet all of you.
Alright, thank
Okay.
you, Doctor.
Okay, Assalamualaikum
Thank you, Dr.
and see
Khan.
you better back on
Waalaikumsalam.
next week, inshallah.
عليكم السلام دكتور عليكم السلام
Waalaikumsalam.
السلام